then we have two inexperienced cornerbacks and Caleb Evans and Mekhi Blackman starting against 2,000-yard wide receivers, Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, two of the best players at their positions.
Tomorrow, finally, we have Vikings season underway as the Vikings will host the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And what I'm wondering from you, what are your three key matchups you'll be watching tomorrow at US Bank Stadium?
Yeah, I think it starts out for me, and this won't surprise anybody who's watched Vikings football since Kirk Cousins arrived. The interior offensive line against Vita Vea. He is one of the best defensive tackles in the NFL. 6.5 sacks last year. He's 345 pounds listed and is quick, is strong, and is one heck of a challenge for Garrett Bradbury, Ed Ingram, and Ezra Cleveland. And there's been a lot of discussion through the offseason. Should they have done something different? Should they have brought in Dalton Reisner, who they had in for a visit? And we're going to get a look right away as we see one of the best players, a Pro Bowl player for the Tampa Bay Bucks, go up against these guys in the interior. I will go also Baker Mayfield versus US Bank Stadium. What we're going to see from Brian Flores is all sorts of different looks at the defensive line. And Baker Mayfield, if he's going to succeed against the Vikings defense, he's going to have to communicate effectively with his offensive line, with his blocking running backs, with his wide receivers for the adjustments that they're going to have to make. But when US Bank Stadium is rocking, it's pretty difficult for quarterbacks to communicate. So how can Brian Flores effectively use a lot of different looks at the defensive line to take advantage of the noise that they're going to have on opening day? And then we have two inexperienced cornerbacks and Caleb Evans and Mekhi Blackman starting against 2,000-yard wide receivers, Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, two of the best players at their positions. And if they are able to hang on for dear life in that first game, which is going to be a heck of a test. These are really good football players. And also Brian Flores is able to mitigate the impact of those two wide receivers by rushing, by changing up coverages, things like that, then the Vikings could have a good day. If they struggle to cover those wide receivers, we could talk about a lot of happy fantasy players who drafted Chris Godwin or Mike Evans. These are unproven guys, but talented and fairly high draft picks who had good training camps. So it's going to be their first test right off the bat against Tampa Bay.
That's been another Purple Insider Extra for Bring Me the Sports. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe to the Purple Insider Podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Talk to you next.